Good morning. Today is February 8th, 2026. It is currently 6:52 a.m. And today, I guess I want to talk about time travel because I was thinking about it the other day, trying to figure out what would I do if I could time travel and how would that work? Because in most movies and things, you would go back in time to your own past, and any changes you make could affect your future. There would be a butterfly effect through time, and you might no longer exist when you go back to the future because of the changes you've made in the past. Now, that's the idea of time travel in Back to the Future and lots of other movies. But to me, that one doesn't really make sense in our world with our physics and how things work. If you could go back to your own past, then would you really be your future self, or would you just be your past self? I guess that's one difference between two types of time travel, right? So in one instance, you're going back, but with your current physical body. In the other, you're going back in time, but you are essentially resuming life at that point in the past as your younger self. And thinking about this, it reminded me of Stephen Hawking's, he did like a celebration or party for time travelers. And I assume no one showed up. To me, what that proves is not that time travel doesn't exist because no one showed up. It just proves, or helps to prove and support the idea that going back to your own past time travel doesn't exist. Because his party has to happen in a time when no one knows about it first. Because through his life and his timeline, if he has that party, he didn't tell anyone about it because he wanted to see if anyone in the future knew about it. Well, it had to happen and have no one show up before people can know about it in the future, right? So if someone knew about it in the future, they know, first of all, no one showed up. Second, if they went back in time, maybe you're not actually going back to that moment, right? Because it has to exist for you to learn about it and go back in the past to be there at that party. And that made me think that in the same way that the entire world exists all at once, time likely exists all at once as well. We can't experience it that way, but in the same way that we can't be everywhere in the world at once, right? We're in a specific location. So if time exists all at once, we are in a specific location in time, moving along. We are kind of locked to that linear movement through time. And I probably should have started off by saying I'm not a scientist and I don't know anything about time travel, so this is all just, imagination. So how I imagine this happening is Stephen Hawking has a party, time moves on, people who have ability to time travel learn about it, they make the decision to go back in the past. They go back in the past, but they're not in that moment that created that future. It's almost like a a spiral where every layer or every ring is a different instance of that time. So it's like they would create a new ring when they go back to that party and there are people there. They've proved that time travel works in a different reality, not ours, because ours had to happen this way in order for that to happen. I don't know. Obviously time travel doesn't make sense because we are missing some knowledge. Otherwise we would be able to do it, right? If it is possible. The other idea I was having was, if that's the case and you can't actually go back to your own past to make changes, then time travel has to be a selfless act. Because let's talk about how to get back to the future once you're there, right? In the first case, if you're able to go exactly back to your past, either as a new person, like as your future self, or returning to your younger form, you will be making changes that will cause your future self to not exist or not be in the same state, right? It will affect your life irreversibly, because either you are rewriting time, history, and becoming someone new, or you are your future self. You have to find a way to return to the future, I assume. If you don't, you're stuck in the past. If you do, you're stuck in the future with two of you. You kind of have to return to your... It just doesn't really work, right? So either way, the you as you are now would no longer exist. And in the second case, where you're not going back to a specific moment, but you're going back to that moment in time, but not, not the exact part of your timeline, you're still kind of giving up on your current future to go back in time. And any changes that you make aren't actually going to really do anything for you. So time travel, to me, if it existed, would be something that people do when they feel they have no choice. It would be like a sacrifice of your current self in order to change the past or future. So if you imagine that world, time travel exists and people are doing it, then a time traveler in the present moment would be someone who is starting fresh and trying to live their life in a better way. That's what I think. So would I time travel if I had the ability to? I don't think so. And in a sense, we're time traveling now. We're just moving forward at the same pace everyone else is. So I guess at any moment you could choose to sacrifice your current self and become someone new. I don't know. It was a random thought while I was walking to work and it captured my interest. But I think that's all for today. So thank you for watching and have a great day.